This guy, after being tricked by a shady MLM angel into reincarnating into another world to become a hero, the very first thing he did upon waking up was kick the final boss straight in the mouth, only to get his leg grabbed by a hot-headed Minotaur dude who squeezed it tight and gifted him a loving punch that sent Choi Hyun-seo straight into dreamland. When Hyun-seo woke up, he found himself in a different place, a prison cell deep underground. "Open this door and bring that bullheaded bastard here. Let's go for round 2. Hyun-seo banged on the door, yelling with fiery passion. Suddenly, the cell door creaked open, catching him off guard and making him fall backward. "Who the hell's being so noisy?" A goblin with a sword walked in. "If you humans keep yelling, I'll cook you into soup." Hyun-seo looked at the blood-stained sword in the goblin's hand and immediately answered obediently, I'll be quiet, sir. I'll be keeping an eye on you. Behave yourself." With that, the goblin turned around and left. "This so-called grand adventure in another world is total garbage," Hyun-seo muttered, frustrated. "Where did it all go wrong? Don't tell me I'm gonna die a second time? Still a virgin?" Just as Hyun-seo was pulling at his hair in despair, a man's voice called out from the neighboring cell. "Hey, new guy, you just got here?" Hyun-seo looked up toward the window. "Who's there?" "Me? I'm your senior. Soon-to-be hero. We're in the Demon King's military fortress. This place enslaves humans." Hyun-seo, tears welling up, immediately asked, "Senior, what's going on here? Why are we in this place?" "You really want to know?" The man chuckled and then shouted, "Hey, all you so-called heroes, you still alive? The true hero is here to save us." Immediately, a wave of voices answered back. "Help me! I'm a hero! I'm a real hero! Please save me!" "Me too! I'm really a hero!" Hyun-seo, face full of confusion, asked, "What kind of world is this?" The man explained, "As you can see, there are hundreds of heroes who ended up in the Demon King's fortress. That bull-headed guy you fought is I'd Run, the commander here. And that prison guard you met earlier is Jark, infamous for his cruelty, so be careful. Actually, never mind. No point in being careful. You've already been marked anyway. And also, the reason we're all here is because of that demon wench named Rachel. That damn demon sent us to the wrong place." Hyun-seo got worked up. "Sent to the wrong place? Senior, what do you mean? We weren't supposed to start here?" "Exactly. The heroes who were summoned elsewhere said so. They said there's a special starting zone for heroes. Most begin in a city or countryside. Normally, heroes don't even have any powers at first, but none of them ever started out smack in the middle of the Demon King's army like we did. And so Hyun-seo's life as a slave officially began, in the 2nd Slave Unit of the 3rd Battalion, under the Demon King's army. "We are the army of the great Demon King. Crush humanity. Devour mankind." A goblin sat on a heavy wooden beam slung over Hyun-seo's shoulders, singing a chant. Then he beat the drum in his hand and yelled, "That's it for today's work! Return to your cells, you pathetic slaves!" Hyun-seo glared at him bitterly, cursing silently in his heart. "You fat little goblin! One day I swear I'll—" Back in his cell, Hyun-seo collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. "Honestly, this prison's not too bad," he sighed. Thinking back, that angel kept bragging about hero privileges or something. But he forgot all about it because he'd been stuck doing manual labor nonstop. "If you choose to become a hero, I'll give you a status window," he remembered Rachel saying. Hyun-seo tried shouting, "Status window!" Sure enough, a glowing interface appeared. "So this is my status? Hoeing? Grade D and HP 31? What does that even mean?" As Hyun-seo muttered to himself, the man in the next cell overheard. "You already got HP points? Yeah, I guess my strength is 28 inches. Dude, you're built different, already hitting stats above 30 at level 1. That's insane." The man was clearly impressed. "But I'm still just a slave," Hyun-seo said, waving his hand dismissively. No. If it's you, I'm sure you'll escape and become a true hero." Here we go again, Hyun-seo thought. Already used to the routine, he covered his ears and replied half-heartedly, "Yeah, sure." As expected, the man kept going. "Most folks only get hoeing at this stage. Your case is super rare. Anyway, good night." In his mind, Hyun-seo was thinking, even if that's the case, I'm only level 1. How the heck am I supposed to run? A while later, once the guy in the next room fell asleep, Hyun-seo secretly pulled up his status window to check. 2 things stood out. Mana, which grants supernatural power, and something called hero points, which, frankly, nobody knew what the heck it was. Hyun-seo had tried asking other heroes about hero points before, but the answer was always the same. "No clue, man. We don't get those from the start." As he was lost in thought, a familiar light suddenly flashed from the corner of the room. And from that light emerged Rachel, all smiles and sparkles. "Oh my, long time no see, dear hero. Should I tell you? Hero points are super important. They help heroes live a better life. You earn them from completing quests, and you can use them to... She didn't finish. Hyun-seo grabbed her by the collar with a dangerous glare. I don't give a damn about hero points. And you seriously deserve a good beating right now. Moments later, Hyun-seo forced Rachel to cast a soundproof spell to keep the next-door nosy dude out of their business, tied her up, and hung her from a dead tree branch. I'm sorry, I didn't know my magic circle broke. I spilled coffee on it while I was snacking, Rachel explained remorsefully. And now I'm punished. I've been demoted to your assistant fairy. I have to stay with you until you defeat the demon lord, even though I already completed my internship like 100 years ago. Hyun-seo sighed. Sorry, but I'm done with this whole hero business. He untied Rachel. Wait, what? What do you mean? I'm not planning to defeat the demon lord. I just want to live a normal life here, all right? Simple as that. But you're an SSS rank hero with huge potential, Rachel pleaded. Doesn't mean I signed up for this nonsense from the start. But Rachel tried to argue but was cut off. I'm tired of the whole fighting for my life crap from my past life. Good night. Rachel muttered to herself. Is he always like this? Isn't this guy just some meathead who only thinks about fighting and women? And what about me? She remembered when she first found out she had to be his assistant fairy, a subordinate to the designated hero, sharing all his victories and defeats. She protested to her superior. I may have messed up, but being an assistant fairy again, isn't that too cruel? You must stay with him until he defeats the demon lord, her superior replied. That's final. I'm sending you straight to the demon army fortress. No, you're sending me to the filthy mortal realm? She didn't even finish her sentence before she got launched here. Back to the present. Faced with Hyun-seo's total indifference, Rachel had no choice but to comply. After all, assistant fairies must obey their hero's every command. Then you're joining my escape plan, Hyun-seo said. Sure, no problem. Just as she replied, the prison door swung open. Hyun-seo panicked and quickly hid Rachel. Get out here, meatbags, barked a goblin. I can use invisibility and talk to you via telepathy, Rachel whispered. But Hyun-seo couldn't even focus on her words. He was too busy wondering, wait, didn't they already do roll call? Why is that damn goblin here again? No time to ponder. The goblin smiled gently at the door. Captain Reedrun is summoning you, human. The scene shifts to Reedrun's office. I heard you've been working hard lately, Reedrun said. Jark told me he has a beautiful new mount. What? Hyun-seo blurted out, currently giving Jark a piggyback ride and wondering why he had to carry this stinky goblin. Did that guy just compliment me? At first I thought you were just some crazy human, but you've proven yourself. So how about becoming chief slave? Production's been slacking lately. I need someone to boost morale. You're totally rejecting him, right? Rachel stared at Hyun-seo. Say something, Hyun-seo! Rachel shouted. How can a hero bow down to a subordinate of the demon lord? In response, Hyun-seo slammed his forehead on Reedrun's desk. I'll do my best to make them all work. Good. You're not what I expected. I like you. Keep this up and I'll write you a special recommendation letter to join the demon lord's army. Reedrun grinned. Meanwhile, Hyun-seo wept internally. Farewell, my escape plan. A few days later, we are the glorious demon lord's army. Defeat and devour the humans. Offer your flesh and soul to the demon lord. Hyun-seo yelled dramatically while pointing ahead. Hey, you! Move faster, damn it. My grandma runs faster than you. At this rate, we'll never hit our quota. From leading them for days, Hyun-seo's hidden abilities and credibility increased. A system message popped up. Leadership gained. Reputation increased. Hyun-seo shouted, being chief slave rules. The other slaves whispered, he's lost it. I heard he used to be a hero. For real? Beside him, Rachel yelled in frustration. Have you gone insane? We're going to be in deep trouble at this rate. Hyun-seo smirked. Shh. Just trust me. You're a sparrow. You wouldn't understand a phoenix like me. Then pointed to a guy on the floor. Hey, you there? Did you skip lunch? Why are you crawling like a worm? Reedrun's favorability toward you has increased, the system reported. One more step to hit the goal. Seeing Reedrun watching from the tower, Hyun-seo saluted with a smug face. Rachel scowled. Hero, I thought you wanted to escape. This is not adventuring. This is sucking up. Hyun-seo grumbled. I'm just following the system's quest, all right? Isn't that what heroes do? Raise the favorability of a demon army officer? That's your quest? You expect me to believe that? I'm serious. Want to hear it word for word? Hyun-seo opened the system and read aloud. You woke up in the demon army fortress due to someone's dumb mistake. Feels wrong, like running out of toilet paper halfway. But fear not. You've been given a chance. Raise Reedrun's favorability. A true hero must learn to use even his enemies. Reward 100 hero points. Rachel protested. That's not even neutral language. The system is always neutral. Yeah? Well, maybe S tier hero systems are built different. Flashback to the night after the meeting with Reedrun. Rachel yanked Hyunseo's blanket. Are you crazy? Why'd you accept that offer? Hyunseo snapped. You're the crazy one. This is all your fault in the first place. At that exact moment, another system message appeared. Hero quest. You woke up in the Demon Army Fortress by mistake. Something feels off, like forgetting toilet paper. Don't give up. Earn Reedrun's trust. A true hero must learn to use his enemies. At first, Hyunseo was shocked, but he decided to follow the quest. That's why he'd been acting like a tyrant lately, just to win Reedrun's favor. Watching him play the villain, Rachel wondered, is this really a system quest? Only the top brass can change quests. So why was Hyunseo's quest rewritten? Yo, Mount Boy. Hyunseo turned around. Oh, hey, Jark. Reedrun wants to see you. Hyunseo followed Jark to Reedrun's office. I heard slave productivity has skyrocketed lately. Ah, it's nothing, sir. I'm just a humble genius. All thanks to your brilliant decisions. Rachel rolled her eyes. You seriously think that cheap flattery is gonna work? Just then, ding! Favorability goal reached. Hero quest complete. Seeing Reedrun's smug grin, Hyunseo knew it was time for Phase 2. Sir Reedrun, if it's all right, may I begin the slave training program? Reedrun asked in surprise. Slave training? Hyunseo explained. Just think about it. A group of elite slaves working together. Extremely disciplined slaves doing the work of 3 people without any trace of laziness. With those kinds of slaves, construction of the fortress could be completed in a week, but human bodies are too weak to train and work at the same time. Then the commander will come and say to you, Reedrun, you've done well. Hearing that, Reedrun got excited and immediately agreed. Back in the room, Rachel sat curled up in a corner, crying her eyes out. My hero is definitely gone. First he bowed to the Demon King's army, and now he's training slaves. How am I supposed to live with this? Seeing her so hopeless, Hyunseo got annoyed. Seriously, you're being so noisy. Listen, I have a plan. Rachel, of course, didn't believe him. You're trying to trick me again, huh? You think I'm like you? I'm planning to use the slaves to spark a rebellion. Rachel stopped crying and looked up at Hyunseo. A rebellion? There are 3,000 human slaves in this fortress. The Demon King's army only has around 500 soldiers stationed here. Plus, there's a human alliance base not far from this place. In the chaos of the uprising, we can request support from them. After hearing Hyunseo's plan, Rachel immediately changed her attitude. Her eyes sparkled with admiration. My hero, so you're not just some musclehead who only knows how to fight? I'm touched. Now all that's left is to check the mission reward. Rachel was surprised. You actually got hero points? That mission wasn't a lie? I told you. There's even a thing called a hero shop now. Let's take a look. Hyunseo raised his hand and clicked. The hero shop interface popped up on the system screen. Internally praying, please, give me something good. A lifeline. Excited and hopeful, Hyunseo pressed the button to open the shop. A few seconds later, his face froze. The first things he saw were 2 F-rank skills. Hold breath, F, hold your breath longer, and hold poop, F, hold your poop longer. He kept scrolling, but the more he looked, the worse his expression got. Finally, with a suppressed voice, he asked, what's left is cooking, cleaning, and laundry. Are these really the powers a hero should have? Rachel was already laughing so hard, she bent over. It's because it's just a level 1 shop. If you collect more points and upgrade it, you'll find more useful stuff. Furious, Hyunseo lunged at her, shouting, Shut up! You lying fairy! Rachel panicked and flew away, screaming for help. The next morning, the slaves stood in neat lines, saluting loudly. Greetings, Demon King! Hyunseo stood in front of them with a serious expression and ordered, We will now sing the song of the 3rd Legion. The slaves all started singing in unison. We are the army of the great Demon King. We defeat humanity and devour mankind. Forget all suffering when we catch them. Nothing under this sky is greater than the Demon King's love. Reedrun stood by his window, looking down at the courtyard, satisfied. Good thing I let him train them. Just then, Reedrun's door burst open. Jark rushed in. Commander Reedrun! Urgent news! The human army is advancing this way. The 8th Division confronted them and fell into a trap. They've been captured. Reedrun grew serious. The 8th Division is the largest unit in my territory. If they're gone, it's only a matter of time before those bastards reach us. Must I abandon the fortress when it's nearly complete? Jark urged him. There's no time left. You must evacuate now. Wait, Jark. Reedrun turned to the window and looked down at Hyunseo in the courtyard. Since ancient times, war has been about logistics. The first rule of war is never to lose a capable supply officer. Go on ahead, Jark. I'll take care of Choi Hyun-seo and follow you. With that, Rydran kicked out the window frame and jumped straight down to Hyun-seo. At that same moment, Hyun-seo was training the slaves when he heard the loud crash from Rydran's room. What was that? He wondered. Looks like this combat training will get cancelled again. His power had improved a bit, but not enough to start a rebellion. I need some kind of unexpected event to boost my power. Suddenly, he heard a loud bang behind him, followed by Rydran's voice. Choi Hyun-seo! Startled, Hyun-seo turned. Commander Rydran? Rydran grabbed his shoulder. There's no time. Come with me now. Yes, sir. But where are we going? Before Hyun-seo could finish, loud voices echoed from outside. Attack! Victory is within reach! There he is! The Red Nightmare! Rydran! Foot soldiers fall back! Knights engage the enemy! Charge! Victory is right ahead! Hyun-seo turned and saw a well-armed army led by a red-haired man storming the fortress. The gate guards were instantly slain. The human soldiers flooded in like a wave. How are human troops here? Wait, could this be my chance? I could stab the Demon King's officer in the back and return to human society. Just as that thought formed, he saw a human soldier charge at Rydran, screaming, Die! Red Nightmare! Hyun-seo panicked as Rydran casually grabbed the man's head, crushed it, and slammed him into the ground. Then Rydran unleashed the seventh form of Jun martial arts, Destruction Wave, creating a wide area quake that wiped out many nearby soldiers. Rydran turned back. Hyun-seo, are you okay? Hyun-seo instantly abandoned any idea of betrayal. He stood up straight and saluted. Yes, sir. I'll follow immediately. Not long after, the fortress was completely overtaken by the human army. The next task was dealing with the slaves. Marriott Kingdom citizens this way. Drasan Empire citizens over here. The slaves quickly dispersed, leaving room for those who called themselves warriors. One soldier approached a man near Hyun-seo's old cell. Are you a warrior? Yes, the man answered. Then this way, please. We're separating warriors from regular prisoners. Really? Thank you so much, the man said excitedly. The others cheered. We're finally being treated like warriors. Once everyone was sorted, the red-haired commander stepped forward. Thank you for coming, warriors. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Olivan Grimier, Duke of the Drasan Empire and commander of the Allied forces. Just then, a soldier reported, Commander, civilian evacuation complete. Good, Grimier replied, turning to leave. As he passed by the group, the soldier whispered, We've compiled a list of self-proclaimed warriors. Grimier said coldly, Then begin. Yes, sir, the soldier shouted. Soldiers, take position. Eliminate all warriors in front of you. Meanwhile, Hyun-seo, unaware that he just escaped death, was sitting in a carriage holding his face. Goodbye, Otherworld. Goodbye, my adventure. Goodbye, Second Life. No one's chasing us anymore, he thought. That guy crushed the heads of everyone behind us. Rachel flew beside him, saying, Hero, please, get a grip. This time of crisis is your chance. Go to their HQ and gather intel on the Demon King's army. Shut up, you lying fairy, Hyun-seo grumbled. Across from him, Rydran suddenly spoke. Huh? Did you say something, Hyun-seo? Quickly changing his tone, Hyun-seo smiled. Oh, nothing. Just mumbling to myself. What an honor to travel with you, sir. Rydran laughed. Glad to hear that. We're almost at the 3rd Legion headquarters. Once we arrive, I'll officially recruit you into the Demon King's army. Stay in line. Hyun-seo could only bow and say, Truly, an absolute honor. By evening, the carriage arrived at the gates of a large fortress. The gate guards shouted, Commander Rydran has returned! As they entered, Rydran stepped out and told Hyun-seo, Follow me. I'll take you straight to the commander. Hyun-seo reluctantly followed. What an absolute honor! To meet the commander this quickly. Rydran didn't catch the sarcasm. Yes, an honor indeed. But be careful how you behave. You don't want to die, Hyun-seo thought. They say, as long as you have brains, even in a tiger's den, you can survive. I won't falter. Soon, they reached a room. Rydran said, Commander Hemis, it's me, Rydran. A voice called from inside. Come in. Hearing the voice, Hyun-seo frowned. A woman's voice. Could the commander be female? His suspicion was quickly confirmed when he entered and saw a voluptuous demon woman lounging on a chair, smirking. Oh my, look who's back, Rydran, and even buffer than before. Rydran spoke up. Your beauty is getting more and more radiant, Commander, Hemis happily said. Thank you for your sweet words. Hyun-seo, who was standing beside him, was stunned, thinking to himself. Such a beauty is the commander, what should I say? Should I praise her beauty? Rydran spoke up. I am so ashamed that I couldn't protect the fortress. It's okay. It's the commander of the 8th Division. It's not your fault. I should have skinned him and made a bag out of him. He survived and returned as a loser. While speaking, Hemis emitted a murderous aura that made Hyun-seo unable to breathe. He felt that the pressure that this female demon in front of him was on a completely different level compared to the ones he had met before. Not too concerned about the fortress, Hemis stood up and asked, Whatever. Who is that person you brought with you? Reed-Run replied, He is Choi Hyun-seo, the person I reported to earlier. I brought him here to officially join the demon army. Hearing that, Hemis was full of interest and approached Hyun-seo to observe and said that he was cute, a talented person, personally chosen by Reed-Run. Should we expect him? Hyun-seo replied urgently. I will do my best, Hemis said again, but with that body you won't be able to survive long in the demon army. Don't you think so? Reed-Run. Reed-Run calmly spoke. I agree. Others will devour him, but a human joining the demon army is unprecedented. If you allow me, I will personally train him. No, you can't waste time with a human. Hemis finished speaking and put a finger to his mouth and pulled gently, causing the stitches on his face to start tearing. The next second, Hyun-seo witnessed Hemis's head blooming like a flower, revealing a large mouth with sharp teeth. Not stopping there, Hyun-seo was shocked when Hemis reached into that large mouth and suddenly pulled out a black-furred monster. Only then did Hemis's head return to its original state. Hemis spoke up. This little guy is Bobo. He's so cute, right? Hyun-seo thought to himself. How could he be a dog? Isn't he a demon from hell? Beside him, Reed-Run opened his mouth to praise. I can feel a strong energy even though he's just a baby. I can also feel elegance. Hemis smiled and said, Of course, see? Reed-Run knows. But when he saw Hyun-seo's expression, Hemis was unhappy, questioning what that reaction was. Don't you like him? Knowing that he had accidentally revealed his true expression, Hyun-seo quickly adjusted himself. He stood up straight, raised his hand in a military salute, and shouted out that the candidate of the demon army, Choi Hyun-seo, was honored to be the one to take care of Bobo. Hemis was pleased to see that. He threw Bobo to Hyun-seo and said, That's what I like to hear. It's growing up, so don't forget to feed it. It gets angry when it's hungry. Choosing a new caretaker now is a bit too much, because it just keeps eating them. Go out and get your uniform. Yes, sir. After saying that, Hyun-seo took Bobo and left. A moment later at Bobo's cage, Rachel exclaimed in surprise, There's a new hero mission right in the middle of the demon army. Hyun-seo glared at her and said, Shh, be quiet. You'll wake it up. Then he looked at the mission on the hero mission system board. You've become Bobo's caretaker. No one knows why you have to do this. But slowly, the living world is still better. Even if it's a shithole, survive by increasing Bobo's popularity. Good luck. So this mission gives 200 hero points. The goal now is to get enough popularity from the commander's pet. Is this a hero? Hyun-seo was thinking. When the door suddenly opened, a goblin walked in and said, Human? Hyun-seo bowed and shouted, Nice to meet you. I'm Choi Hyun-seo. In his heart, he thought to himself that a goblin, being his caretaker, would blatantly look down on him. Then Hyun-seo found that no one else came in and asked suspiciously, Where are the other seniors? This goblin replied, There is no one. They have all left. Then from now on, you and I will prepare meals for Bobo, Hyun-seo asked. The goblin affirmed that it was just that. Now, if you understand, then move your butt. He was talking when he suddenly discovered that he was covered by a large shadow. Bobo didn't know when he appeared behind him and used his tongue to lick his prick. The goblin was too scared and hurriedly ran behind Hyun-seo and hugged his leg and said to Bobo, You're awake. Here, this fresh human is prepared for you. Hyun-seo angrily shouted, What is this crazy goblin doing? The goblin shouted again, Shut up, human! One of us will die! Hyun-seo shouted, Then you are the one who will die. Then he used all his strength to throw the goblin towards Bobo and said, Here is some snack for you, Bobo. A few hours later, Why? It's too much. Help me, Rachel shouted while flying quickly to avoid Bobo's pursuit. Hyun-seo sat calmly on the side and said, Don't run too long. It will get hungry again. He was looking for something in the hero shop that could help in the current situation. Very quickly, an item caught his attention, a huge bone, a bone that could attract all kinds of monsters. The hero points required 30. Hyun-seo decided to buy. Then he held the big bone and shook it in front of Bobo to attract its attention. Want this? Then catch it. After Hyun-seo finished speaking, he threw the big bone into the air. Bobo was indeed attracted and jumped up to bite the big bone. Seeing that Rachel had the chance to gasp and fly back to Hyun-seo's side and speak. How did you find such an item? I wish you found it a little sooner. Hyun-seo smugly said that it was all thanks to this genius brain, not missing any small details. This mission would be easy. But before he could finish speaking, Bobo suddenly ran over and bit one side of his collar. Luckily, that bite didn't hit his neck. Otherwise, he would have lost his life. Rachel spoke. Easy. I don't think that bone is enough. Hyun-seo trembled and said, I guess it wants fresh meat. Rachel asked, Are you going to take it out? Hyun-seo quickly searched for a solution in her mind, thinking, If you don't want to be eaten, use your brain. A magic word that can calm the mad dog. Finally, Hyun-seo uttered a word. Bobo heard that and immediately changed from mad dog mode to good dog mode and threw himself into Hyun-seo's arms. A moment later, Hyun-seo led Bobo and Rachel out. Hyun-seo softly said, Where is the kitchen? I don't know which way. He was searching when Bobo suddenly accelerated and ran forward. Hyun-seo quickly ran after him and shouted, "Oh my God! Calm down, Bobo! This way, listen to me, do you want to go out? Go!" Rachel flew after her, looking east then west, saying, "I can't smell the food. I don't know where this is anymore." Suddenly, she discovered a goblin nearby, so she quickly pointed in that direction and shouted, "Oh, why don't you try asking that goblin over there?" Hyun-seo's eyes lit up and said, "That's right." Then he quickly ran towards the goblin and shouted, "Excuse me, can you help me lead the way?" The goblin turned around and looked at Hyun-seo and asked, "Who are you? Why are you here, human?" Before he could finish speaking, Bobo suddenly appeared and scared him to the ground. Hyun-seo walked over and said, "It's time for Bobo to go for a walk." Bobo also came forward and licked the goblin's face with his tongue. The goblin didn't dare to resist and could only ask with a trembling voice, "Why are you with Bobo?" Hyun-seo looked at Bobo and said, "Bobo can't eat him." Bobo heard this and then retreated. Hyun-seo looked at the goblin and said, "I'm starting to take care of Bobo today. Do you know where the kitchen is?" "The kitchen is on the left." As soon as he finished speaking, the goblin immediately ran away like a gust of wind. Seeing this, Hyun-seo and Rachel froze for a few seconds before reacting. Hyun-seo laughed until tears came out of her eyes and asked, "Why is he so scared? Is he really a demon?" Rachel laughed and replied that I was going to say that too. Hyun-seo said that he probably just needs to find meat in the kitchen. Rachel said it was funny, "But you won't take care of that dog forever, right?" "What are you talking about? I dream of fatefully meeting a blonde lady and marrying her." While talking, Hyun-seo bent down to look at Bobo, but found that he was nowhere to be seen. "Where is that dog?" Hyun-seo cried out in panic. "If I take my eyes off him for even a second, it will turn into a disaster." Rachel also helped to search. She quickly saw that Bobo was over there. Hearing Rachel shout, Hyun-seo quickly looked back and saw Bobo running back. "Ah, honey, you made me so worried." Hyun-seo suddenly stopped talking because he saw blood on Bobo's fur and lips, and he also heard screams coming from not far away. "Commander Regis is dead? Who did it? We will take revenge in the same way." Hyun-seo stood there dumbfounded. Rachel reluctantly smiled and said, "I guess it was Bobo." Then, without anyone telling them, Hyun-seo carried Bobo with one hand, his face full of innocence, and together with Rachel turned around and ran away. Behind them, a group of goblins were chasing after them with weapons. Rachel was scared and shouted, "Hero, are we going to leave like this?" "Is this the end?" Hyun-seo angrily shouted. "Shut up! If you have time to nag, run away." However, because they were unfamiliar with the road, the two of them ran into a dead end. The pursuers from behind quickly caught up. That human had already killed the commander. I will gnaw on his hand like I am gnawing on a chicken wing, hoping that the commander is not completely digested. I have always wondered what he tastes like. Tear the dog and the human apart, and then we will split up. Hearing these malicious words from the goblins, Hyun-seo gritted her teeth and silently said, "Concentrate, Hyun-seo. The most important thing for a person is the spirit of self-encouragement." Hyun-seo mustered up all her courage to raise her head and shout loudly, "You! How dare you! Do you know who this brave person is?" A goblin spoke. "Isn't it just a monster?" Hyun-seo shouted again. "What? How rude! This is Bobo." The goblins heard this name and hesitated a bit. "Bobo the commander's beast. Impossible. It's just a human's trick, but what if he told the truth?" Hyun-seo sat down. He put Bobo on the ground and said, "Why don't you recognize Bobo? How shameful of you!" The goblin just opened his mouth to doubt. With a bad premonition, he trembled and asked, "What are you doing, human?" Hyun-seo looked at it and laughed, turning on the beast mode. And beside him, Bobo had already stared at the goblin with bloodshot eyes. It was him who bit him. Hyun-seo just gave the order. Bobo was like an arrow shot towards the goblin and opened his mouth to bite and tear. "A dog without a muzzle is truly a bloody battle," Hyun-seo said, and looked at the goblins and asked, "Which demons doubt Bobo anymore?" The goblins didn't dare to doubt anymore. They all bowed their heads and apologized. "Because we didn't know." The system announced with maximum reputation, "You have conquered a lot of demons. Hidden attribute reputation has increased." "Oh, I got credit. Good." Hyun-seo was feeling pleased when she suddenly heard Hemis's laughter coming from behind.
If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapters.